Hello everybody and welcome to Wesley's Plant World with me, Wesley Peterson, and today we are in the area of my garden called the Bonfire Garden, which starts with this oval border I have here. That is a border that I created to hide our well that I have behind these beautiful evergreen bushes here that are growing so well up in front of it to hide it completely. I've had a really hard time getting plants to establish themselves and grow in this area so that they grow out bushy, thick and nice. And that is because this border gets so completely dry and I have a really hard time keeping it moist. Whether I water it or not, it dries out so quickly that it is a problem border. So I need a plant that will be able to cope with drought extremely well. A plant that will cope when it rains and that will be enough for it, and then when I give it a little bit of supplementary watering, it will do very well as well. So I have already started excavating out this border from the plants that I already had in here, and I'm just going to plot in some video so you can see the whole process. The first thing I took out was my really tall bamboos, and this plant was doing okay here, but bamboos don't like to be in bright, direct sunlight all day long. Even though this variety does actually okay, I've had it in bright sunny conditions many times and it's done very well. So I planted this big tall clump here for a while until I figured out if I wanted to put it somewhere else, and it's done very well. And then I had an array of different perennials in this border that I've tried and tested out. Yes, they've started greening out and they've started doing okay, but I'm not really enjoying the look so well in the winter. I want this border to be as evergreen as possible. That's why I have all the evergreens behind. So all these things in front, I'm just taking up and placing in different areas of my garden. Nothing ever gets wasted, it just gets moved around. That's something I do constantly. So that's what I've done, and now I'm left with this blank slate so that I can plant in the two plants of the day. Now, one is a deciduous plant, and that is this here, this Lysimachia punctata that gets its lovely yellow flowers during this time of the year. And this plant has been flowering for me here where I live in southern Sweden during June and now into July. So it's doing really well, and it's a plant that can spread out in an area and really look nice as a mass, and I have that in my botanical garden. So I've decided to put this as a line behind the plant of the day. So I'm going to get this into the ground first because this is a lovely plant that I think with its yellow flowers, which is going to contrast beautifully with the grass that I'm going to be placing in front here that has a lovely silvery colour. And then it gets these lovely bronzy, beigey coloured seed stalks on it, and it's just an absolutely fantastic plant. So I'm going to be planting that all over here in front. It's a plant that really does well in drought, but we'll get into that in a moment. So let me first get this Lysimachia punctata planted out of the back here, and then I can get the plant of the day. So basically, as you can see here, I have just gone and excavated clumps of this Lysimachia punctata to place out in my garden. And you know, this normally wouldn't be the best time of year to do something like this because these plants are in full bloom, and ripping them up by their roots and moving them around is going to make them sag and hang and so forth. But I know this is a really, really robust plant as well that also can take quite drought tolerant conditions. So this plant is going to be perfect here. And I really want to get some of the yellow effect just to show you what I'm looking for the seasons to come when I plant the grass out. But if it starts sagging later and looking sad, well, I'll just go in and I will chop it completely down and I'll leave it till next season because I know it will bounce back. The roots on this plant are so extremely tolerant. So I need to get these in before I plant the grass, otherwise I'm not going to be able to get behind that grass later on. So I've got to do this now, and that is why I'm just getting it done. So I'm digging a trench, and then I'm literally going to do, as one can say, plonk this plant in the holes. So I just grab pieces. Look at this beautiful plant. Easy peasy. there you go. You can see all of its lovely yellow flowers, its lovely leaves, and its rhizomous roots. So this plant will spread out lovely at the back here. So let's get on with this. Have a weed in here as well that I might just take out. And then get these planted quickly. So there we go. My Lysimachia punctata is quickly and easily in place in a row at the back of the border. This is giving some beautiful yellow colour straight away, and I can't wait now to show you the grass that I'm going to be planting in to fill up this whole border. It is going to transform so quickly and amazingly, you won't believe it. So let me get that grass. So here it is, my amazing blue coloured grass. I have a whole wheelbarrow full of this plant, and it is just going to fill out this border straight away. So let me get a piece just to show you how amazing it is. So here we go. I'll just take a little piece here. This, look at the lovely blue silver tones of this grass. It's very thick blades, very strong, very sharp as well when you're working with it, and as well as the seed head here. Look at this. So it gets beautiful big seed heads, and they give the plant a lot of character, and they're also very sharp. So in this border they're going to be fine where they're away from everything else and us. But I love this, and this plant is rhizomous. So it creeps around and takes over an area, and that's why this border is so perfect, because now I have nothing else in here in the front, and it's going to want to creep towards the light. The sun comes around from the east, round to the south, and round to the west in front of us there. So a perfect position where this plant will get sunlight all day long, because that is what it likes. This is a plant that normally grows by the seashore, in sand, in dunes. You've probably seen it when you've been anywhere with dunes by the seaside, but it can also grow in gravelly kind of ground, and it will also grow in normal compost. I've seen this growing in many different situations, and as long as it gets the light, it will be amazing. This beautiful plant is called Leymus arenarius, and I just want to give a word of warning. If you're going to be planting this plant in your garden, it is very, very vigorous, and it will take over, and it gets huge root masses that really grow all over the soil under the surface and take over every single area. And then you get these lovely tall plants that grow out, and they can get to around 1 metre tall. They're really quite big, some of these. And then with their flower and seed pods, they get even taller than that, and then they spill over and give this lovely fountain effect. So in this border that I have, I don't mind them taking over this, because as you see, I have my stone edging. Behind, I have the well. On the back side, there's not much else going on. So if it creeps around this border, I actually don't mind it growing up in amongst the bushes that I have going on the other side. There's no small perennials, so that it's going to take over those. It's going to be taller growing bushes. And at the back of it, it has these taller evergreen bushes as well. So here it's going to be fine, because anything that tries to creep out will be trimmed down along the edge, and the lawn gets mown here, so it can't escape anywhere. So a perfect spot to have my plant. So now I'm just going to get this plant planted so that I can take you in for a closer look, so you can see how this space transforms into a lovely blue as well as yellow flowering border. Let me get on with this. So that's my first layer in, and it's looking good. So now I'm just going to carry on with the next and the next till they're all planted in. So we'll see how the evergreenness goes. I would really love to be able to look out through my southern facing kitchen window during the winter months and see some of this blue colour still going on. So I'll just have to wait and see. That's all very exciting, but I know that every year it will bounce back anyway, however it looks during the winter, and I will get an even thicker flush of this lovely blue colour. So let's go in for a closer look so you can see what this is all looking like now. So let's go in for the closer look of this lovely border I have in my bonfire garden. Look at that blue tone compared to that dark green backdrop already here. It looks absolutely amazing. Look at this. Wow, the effect is just amazing. And then you can see the yellow flowers down there in the back that will come up taller and gorgeous next season. But even this season I'll get to enjoy them in the back there for now. And then you can see my Prunus lariosisis caucasica coming back up in the middle down here, that I'm going to be letting grow out as a bush, but I will prune it up so that it has a stem, so that there's space for the plants underneath to carry on growing. And then look at all this. It just looks amazing. Look at the lovely seed pod on this grass, and then look at the expanse as we go here towards the side. And then round the back we have other plants going on, and now I have silver on both sides of this border, as you can see here, and then my evergreen bush in the middle, so that's perfect. Look down here, flowers at the back, and then just so you can see my southern facing window in the background, and our terrace. That's where I'll be able to look down and see this gorgeous plant through the window. I really enjoy seeing this amazing colour that's going on here. Three layers of this grass, and it just looks super duper, and it will just get better and better with time. Look as I go back here, the colour contrast now with the other plants around. And now it's starting to rain, so I need to take my camera indoors in safety. So I really hope you enjoyed seeing these lovely plants all together, evergreens and the dark greens, light greens, blues and the yellow flowers, and how fabulous it looks. I'm really enjoying this. Oh, it's so amazing. So in a moment when I go in and make myself some lunch, I'm going to look out of my kitchen window and be able to see this beautiful array and be so happy about the work I did today. I'm so happy I found a plant that is so robust that it will be able to take the dry conditions of this border and just carry on thriving in the bright sunshine of the summer months, and, well, as it is right now, the grey days and the rainy days too, to give it a boost. So all I have to say now is thank you very much once again for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be coming up, and I will see you again very soon. Goodbye.